you need this chipping shot. So the grass is running this way. So basically, if I was chipping this way, it would be relatively easy, but I'm not. I've got to chip it that way. Got an okay amount of green to work with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7 paces of green to work with. Very slopey, so going this way. So as soon as it starts going left on here, it's going to get fiery and run away from me. So I'm a little bit worried about how it's going to come out. So what's the best way to play this shot? We all get this shot. The reason the grass is running this way as well is because this is the way everyone walks off the green to the next hole. They're all walking this way, so it's pushing it this way. And it's things like this you really need to be looking for around the green. The amount of golfers I get out on the course and we get into this situation, I don't say anything. I think, let's see how they play this. And they play their regular chip from the fairway from here. And guess what happens? Generally, if you play your regular chip, you play kind of from the fairway from here, is that kind of happens. Oh, and there you go. Oh, I've duffed it. Like, I've duffed it. I've played a bad chip. What did I do wrong? Should I stand differently? What should I do? And then they go and play one from the fairway the same way and go, oh, look, my chip in's back. The problem is that they've not read the lie properly and they've not adapted to this lie. We've got to adapt a bit to this lie. So let's think about what's happening here. Basically what's happening, any good chip shot, you'll start interacting with the ground kind of about here. Sometimes you can even get it back here and hit a good chip. But the trouble is, with the grass running this way, it's going to constantly really slow, slam the brakes on that club, meaning the energy when it gets to the ball from the club is less, hence the duff. Two good strategies for dealing with this shot. One is we want the interaction with the grass before the ball to be less. And the way we do that is we can get the ball slightly back, handle forwards, and then feel like we're picking up to down. So where on the fairway you might feel more of a kind of sweepy feel, that you're not digging, this one you actually do want to feel more up to down. Now, if you're someone who on the fairway does do an up to down action, you are really working on getting that down a lot, which is cool. There's, you know, lots of people saying must chip this way, and that's fine. Chip that way if you're chipping that way, and that's how you bait. This one will be easier. But if you're someone who's a little bit more neutral and feel like you want to be a bit more sweepy, which is the feeling I have, more of a sweepy chip from the fairway to try and not have hardly any interaction with the ground, that one isn't going to work when the grass is this long and against me. So first thing I'm going to do is go ball back, handle forwards to try and give me this feeling of getting that ground hardly at all before the ball to buy the ball. And let's think about what happens if you do that. What happens if you do that is we're now taking loft off. So the next thing I'm making sure I do is I pick my most lofted club. Obviously situations will change. You could do this with other lofts, but because I'm taking loft off on this situation, I'm actually going to put more loft on at the start by choosing my 60. So I've got my loft to help me with the fact that I've got the ball further back in my stance. So it's actually kind of back behind my buttons now. Handle up towards lead foot. And I'm going to start with some pressure on my lead foot. But I want you to practice this as well, because when I measure good players, what I notice is they do start a little bit lead foot pressure, but before they start the swing, they actually push to be quite even with their feet in the ground. So they don't lean left, they actually level that out. And then as soon as the club starts moving back, they actually go left. So try a few shots where you start quite even with your pressure. So ball back, handle forwards, quite even with your pressure. But as soon as that club moves back, push that pressure forward. So go target bound, for me, left. Club goes the other way to my body. So basically you're feeling this way. Because sometimes the problem with starting left, when you see, I see it with amateurs, they start left, they don't push off this foot, they stay there, and then as soon as they push back, they're so far left, they feel like they can't hit it, and that's sometimes why we see them come back, because you can't be too far left. So you need that little bit of leeway. So try a few where you start left and stay left, and then try a few where you start even, and as soon as you start that club back, just move left. I'm finding that's really helping people with a bit of low point control who struggle. Now, with the way I've got you set up, the high to low swing should make more sense, but I want you to feel like you go high to low. So for this one, I'm going to feel like I take my hands, say, to trail pocket, and then on the way through, I'm going to keep my hands down and low. So it's a up to down pop shot with a bit of speed. So really dropping that club into that back of that grass and that ball with a bit of stun speed. This is what's going to allow you to keep that speed up. Actually getting people to slam on the brakes is what makes them commit to more speed, believe it or not. When people try to accelerate through shots, so they come up this way, They're not actually accelerating that well down here. They tend to accelerate up here. Again, hence the horrible strike. So from going up to down with a stunted follow through, like a punch shot into the wind, they're firm and struck hard. Slamming on the brakes is great for making sure the energy and power is down there. And because this shot is a bit of a popper, it's going to come out pop, it's going to roll on a bit. Meaning I'm looking at not landing out by the flag, but kind of anywhere between here and here, and it's going to roll on. Bearing in mind it rolls on, I'm also going to work the break of that green in, because remember what I said at the start, anything going down to the left is just going to keep rolling away. So I'm going to aim this up the right, looking at my landing spot, which is kind of anywhere like 1 club length on the green. Ball back handle forwards. I'm going to start my pressure quite even and go left. I'm going to go high to low. I'm going to pop and run. Look at that release on. A little too high, but happy I kept it on the high side. Really popped out, ran on 3 or 4 paces, and I've made a horrible situation, quite a duffy situation, into an up and down potential situation. Not quite chipped close enough, but happy I'm not leaving it in there and taking way more to get down. Let me know if this helps. It's such a killer shot. If you want to find out how to strike your irons better, remember this video is really going to help.